Turn the amp on. If there's no power, check the external fuse. Usually it's near the power cord. Some amps like this one carry a spare fuse. If the amp has power, look for warning lights or error codes. Thermal or overheat means there might be something wrong with the fan. Sometimes you need to replace the fan, but often there's just something jammed in the blades, and you can clear it easily. Either way, make sure the fan is working. Before opening up the chassis, try to figure out roughly where things are going wrong. The notes we play go from instrument to preamp, where the signal is raised and EQ'd. From there, it goes to the power amp, where the signal is amplified, and then out to the speakers. Keep this flow in mind when troubleshooting. I notice the overload lights don't come on when I turn up the gain and play bass. That could be a problem with the input jack or preamp. I plug a cord into the tuner output, not the speaker output, and connect to a working amp. The sound is cutting out and distorted. So again, this looks like an issue with the preamp. Maybe a fuse, a bad tube, or something got disconnected like a wire harness or a bad solder joint. Hey, don't skip the most important step of all. Hit that like button. Turn off power and unplug the amp. Unscrew the lid and keep track of all the screws. Look around for anything that fell off the board or came loose. Anything blocking the fan, burn marks, blown fuses, disconnected wires, bulging transistors, or capacitors. Let's take a closer look at this fuse. Hard to focus, but it's blown. Actually, 2 fuses are blown. The lettering says 5A 250V, so that's 5 amps, 250 volts, and it measures 2 centimeters long, so that's 20 millimeters. Also, it looks like a fast blow fuse because it only has a single filament, rather than a slow blow fuse which has a spring-looking coil. Order or go buy fuses. Before installing, compare the new fuse to the old one. Make sure it's the right size and has the same amps and volts. Gently and firmly push the new fuse or fuses into place. Temporarily plug the amp in, being cautious about live power because the lid is off. I'm playing into the amp with a cable going out from the tuner output, just like before. Sounds much better. Also, the input overload lights show that we're getting signal from the preamp now. I'll test the rig later when I get to rehearsal, but for now, put the lid back on the amp and reinstall the screws. Final test with a speaker cabinet. Learning the hard way.